to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. In today's video I'm going to talk about that long haul flight from the Netherlands to Australia. I will not go into details about visas and preparations that you have to make before you book this flight, because that would take too long and will come in another video. Of course, my journey started at Schiphol, as they call it here. Although I realized that in the general big scheme of things, you can still book longer flights than Amsterdam, Australia. You could go to Sydney, or you could go to New Zealand, which is even further, another 4 or 6 hours from here. So that's all in all an even longer flight. A flight from Amsterdam to Australia with a 2-hour stopover in Dubai, for example, is still going to take 24 hours before you arrive. That means you're sitting for 24 hours in an aeroplane with only a trip to the bathroom as exercise and stuffing your face with food and drinks while you watch movies. Now, I've also been so lucky to have been upgraded to business class a couple of times. That's when you accumulate a lot of miles. They'll pick you out if the economy class is full. They stuff you into the business class, which is excellent because there you have the seats that completely fall down, make it a bed. Then you can lie horizontally and go to sleep. And that helps for the notorious swollen ankles that you can get when you sit for too long in an airplane and all the blood and all the water just sinks into your feet. They start to swell up like a balloon. And I can tell you what, it's not comfortable to walk with that. So yeah, there is a way around it. It's only very expensive, of course. I always choose Emirates to fly with for long haul flights because I find their service and their food the best during the flight. And there is also some good news for the ladies here, because you're allowed 30 kilos of checked-in luggage plus 7 kilos of a carry-on luggage bag, plus you can have a handbag. Well, whoop whoop, should be enough to last you for a while. The good thing too is that all the food and the drinks, including alcohol beverages, are free and available throughout the whole flight's duration. So that is really nice. My secret is take 2 double whiskeys at the start, have your food and take a nap. That's the cool one. The trip usually consists of 2 parts. The first part is from Amsterdam to Dubai. That part is usually about 6 hours, 40 minutes. And then you have a 2.5 hour stopover in Dubai. And once you're in Dubai, you have to go through security checks into the airport itself, of course. I've always found that a little bit weird because you were already checked in, you were already checked, everybody was already checked, and now you have to get out and you have to get checked again in order to get in the airport. Makes no sense to me, but they must have had a reason for it. And to be honest, that's the least enjoyable part for me, because you have to go through all these checkpoints and the customs 3 times each way. So yeah, it's a thing you have to keep in mind. Once you've come into the airport, there are numerous shops, of course, so-called duty-free outlets, duty-free shops, where you can buy your food and clothes and electronics and what. But it's still quite expensive despite being duty-free. A beer, for example, can cost you around 18 Australian dollars. That's roughly, what, 12 euros?
No, I mean it.
For a glass, which I find extortionately expensive, especially when it's duty-free, because who makes the money there then? But at least that will prepare you for the prices here in Australia, because they're also very expensive here with alcohol. I'll handle that topic in a later video, because otherwise we'll get too far away from the flight. The next leg is from Dubai to Brisbane, takes around 13 hours and 50 minutes. And if you go to Sydney, you will have to add another 4 hours on top of that. So that would be another 17 hours. And then you still have a 2-hour stopover here in Brisbane. So you'll be about a 19-hour flight on the second leg alone. Okay, the other thing that you have to remember when you land, or you've probably seen it on the ticket, but what you always forget is you book the ticket on the 10th and you arrive on the 12th. So that's 2 days. On the other hand, when you go back to Holland, you travel back in time. You leave on one day and you arrive on one day. And that's also something to keep in mind. I never mind actually to go to Amsterdam because that's the easy part to get used to. You arrive at a certain time, it's always in the afternoon or a little bit later. So you can either go straight to bed or just stay up for a little bit and get used to the time zone. The other way back actually is a bit more complicated. The border control in Australia is very strict. The biosecurity laws are very, very hard. And I think we've all seen the border control television series everywhere. And you can see that they check all the luggage coming in already and they check it when you go out. So whatever you filled in on the landing card, which asks you, did you bring any dairy products? Did you bring any live food like nuts, wooden objects that haven't been treated? Did you spend any time in freshwater reserves? Did you have your sandals, for example, that you walked through in other countries with, that were in contact with fresh water? Then you already have to declare that. So the whole point about the whole declaration of the landing card is, as soon as you sign it, it is what it says it is. It's a declaration. So if you bring that to the customs and they find that anything on the card that you declared, which is now a legal document, means you're lying. So if they find something, means you violated the declaration. And solely based on that, they will fine you for whatever they find. So the whole thing is, if you're not sure whether you can actually bring it into the country, just put it on the damn card. And if you go to customs and they will see you declared something, they were going to ask you, what is it? And if you say, okay, it's so and so, they will say, okay, you can or you cannot bring it in. If you cannot bring it in, you're not going to get fined. They're just going to say, chuck it in a bin, and that's it. But if they find it on you while you declared you didn't have anything, that's where you get in trouble and hefty fines. So be smart about it, just declare it, and don't bring anything from the plane. Not nuts, not bars like crustly bars, muscly bars. Don't bring any chips, don't bring anything that you don't really need at that point, all right? So be smart about it. Just declare it, then you're always safe. And then we have the next topic also for smokers. If you're a smoker, you cannot bring anything more than 25 grams of tobacco. So that means 25 cigarettes, 25 grams of rolly tobacco, as they call it here. And anything over that, you will also have to declare. And they're going to ask you, okay, so how much do you have? Well, you could say, I've got rolly tobacco and they only sell it in 50-gram pouches, but I've already been using it. And usually they're okay with that. But if you bring like a carton of 200 cigarettes, you will go to the tax desk, pay all the tax duties, and then you can keep it. Or you could say, okay, I don't want it anymore, just leave it. Okay, so here is my last tip. When you leave the airport, before you leave the airport and go through customs, you get through the duty-free section of Brisbane. get your booze right there, because that's actually a lot cheaper than in the shops here in Australia. You're allowed for 2.2 liters of spirits, and I think it's 6 bottles of wine, either or. So not both at the same time, and it's per person. And that saves you a lot of money down the road. So get it there. Okay, that concludes this whole video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Go online, log into your YouTube account, like it and subscribe there. That would help out a lot for me. So thanks, stay safe and stay curious.